Dr. King's activism was rooted in the true patriotism that cherishes America's ideals and strives to narrow the gap between those ideals and reality.
That's Wilma Webb, the former First Lady of Denver, and she's a big part of why Martin Luther King Jr. Day became an official holiday in 1984.
The first bill to do that was introduced by her husband, former Mayor Wellington Webb. Previous to when he was mayor, he was in the state legislature, but it was ultimately then State Representative Wilma Webb who introduced the bill that got signed into law. 9 News reporter Kelly Rinke takes a look back at the history of this day in our state.
Knowing the past offers appreciation for the present. More than a decade of work made this moment in 1986 possible. That year brought the first official celebration of Dr. MLK Day in Colorado.
Marchers then gathered in the streets near City Park to remember and commemorate some of the marches led by King himself.
15,000 people gathered for the Martin Parade, a term coined by Representative Wilma Webb.
Then Wilma and Wellington Webb laid a wreath at the base of the statue.
She and her husband, former Denver Mayor Wellington Webb, fought for this holiday as state lawmakers. They continue to share their story today.
And the first holiday was adopted both in Washington, D.C. and in Denver, Colorado.
First Lady Wilma Webb introduced the bill that was signed into law to make MLK Day a holiday in our state. Mayor Wellington Webb tried years earlier in the 1970s, but every time his bill failed. Wilma's bill failed 3 years in a row before state lawmakers passed it.
Let's do our part and keep the holiday for the children. For the children.
The couple has honored the civil rights icon every year since 1986. The past reminds us the fight wasn't easy, but a larger crowd gathers before them today. The celebration continues decades later, before a grateful duo.
Those who are newcomers and those who have been with us throughout the years, we couldn't have done it without you.
The bill was signed into law by Governor Richard Lamb exactly 16 years after the assassination of Dr. King. On the holiday in 1986, the state unveiled an official portrait of Dr. King, which you can still see at the state capitol today. Alex.
It's interesting to see the history and how the holiday has really evolved into like a day of service and dedicating yourself to your fellow man, because that's truly what Dr. King's legacy was.
Yes, and they emphasize that legacy too. Even Coretta Scott King helped create the first celebration here in Denver. She was a big part of that, and she was a really close friend of Wilma Webb, so she's tied into that history as well.
Yeah, I learned something there. Kelly, thank you.